Welcome to Class 3. In this next set of lessons, we're going to be talking about advanced techniques for doing Google searches. Basically, we're going to learn ways to be more precise about what we say, what we ask for, and how to take the big set of results and filter it down to just what you really want. To do this effectively, first we need to learn a little bit about how the web is organized. So basically, you can think about each web page as being a page of content, videos, text, images, whatever. And the visible web are all of those pages that get indexed by search engines. So what the spiders do is they go around and look at each page, and they look at the links, and then they say, how does that link connect to another page? So in this illustration, let's look at my company. So what you see here are all those yellow squares, each representing one web page. And then there are links that go from one web page to another web page. The spiders crawl those links and then index the content of that. Links that go outside of the company, mycompany.com, to say yourcompany.com, are those red arrows that go in and out of those two different circles, those two different ellipses you see there. That's a website. That's an important concept, and we'll use that in just a second. But the visible web is the stuff that Google searches over and indexes on each site. My company, your company, whatever. The deep web is stuff that is not here. So for example, you see the green boxes, the upper right, those are web pages that are lonely, they're forgotten. There are no links going to them, there are no links coming out of them. We don't see it. Google can't see that stuff. So that's dark web or deep web. So when you're searching, you often will want to get results just from one website, one of these ellipses. We'll show you how to do that. So the way we get more refinement on our searches is we add an operator. We'll talk a lot about operators in this whole lesson, in this whole class, but we'll start very simply. Suppose you do a search, say, for Tesla coil. It would look like this, Tesla coil. And guess what? You get lots of Tesla coils. Those are the big Tesla coils that generate lots of lightning bolts and so on. So that's great. But remember what we just talked about in the site? What you can do is to say site colon, as you see here, site colon, and then domain name, like say Stanford University, which is stanford.edu. So now when I search for Tesla coil at site colon stanford.edu, what that does is it searches only inside of that site, only inside the ellipse that's called stanford.edu. Let me modify this query. Site colon stanford.edu like that. Now, when I hit enter, what will happen? It will still do Tesla coil as the search, but only return results from stanford.edu. And all these results, all these images, all these regular web results or articles, whatever, are all, as you can see, from stanford.edu. In this case, large.stanford.edu, or slack.stanford.edu, or news.stanford.edu. You see how this works? There are many, many different kinds of operators, and as I said, we'll talk about more in just a little bit. But what they all do is filter the results. That is, they make the result set smaller in a way that you want. So if the big ellipse here is the entire universe of all results about Tesla coil, the smaller enclosed ellipse is stanford.edu results about the topic of Tesla coils. Now, there are lots of ways to express what the site is. Country codes like .in or .es allow you to search just India. So you could say, for example, site colon .in Tesla coil, and you get just results from India. Same thing with ES, which is Spain, BR, and so on. Now, there are also top-level domains, these TLDs like .com, .edu, .mil, and so on. These are also other sites that you can restrict your results to. So, for example, I could say site colon .edu and search only education resource sites. Let me give you an example of that. So if we're searching on, say, the topic of coral bleaching, right, I can do obviously site colon stanford.edu like that. But let's talk about just EDU sites. Now, EDU sites are the education institutions. So stanford.edu, Berkeley, Florida State, all these different institutions are all EDU. So if I now say .edu, all these results will come just from education resources. So you can see here, all the EDU sites in the US here, you get a great set of results. Now let's take this and switch the topic just a little bit. I'm going to search for mariculture, that is growing fish and shellfish and so on in the ocean. And I'm going to say, let's look at site.gov, which is US government resources. And now we can see there are, in fact, a bunch of different sites, a bunch of different resources that are owned and run by the government, the US federal government, and this is the set of pages all about mariculture from those resources. If you're trying to get into a business of mariculture, this is a great way to search for that. So now you know how the site restriction operator works. We'll learn more in just a little bit, but right now go ahead and do the activity and explore what site can do for you. Keep in mind the different kinds of domains you can search for and what that would mean for your searches.